Welcome to the Membership Guys podcast. Kick-ass advice and tips for membership site owners.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 99 of the Membership Guys podcast. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, one half of the Membership Guys, and I'd like to thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today and for downloading this episode. Today, we're talking about whether or not you should offer a money-back guarantee. So this is where you have a policy for your membership site that if for some reason someone is not satisfied with your membership, with the fact they've signed up, then as long as they get in touch with you within a specific period of time, usually 30 days, 60 days or what have you, then they can get a full refund. Now, the main reason you want to offer a money-back guarantee would be to tap into something that Jay Abrahams calls risk reversal. So whenever someone is deciding whether to join a membership or buy a product or anything like that, typically they have dozens of questions going through their head. Is this person for real? Are my credit card details safe? Is this company or is this person actually going to deliver on what they promised? Am I safe? Is this the right thing? All that sort of stuff. Lots of questions, some of them related to your product, some of them related to security, some of them just related to themselves. So they have all these sorts of questions, and it's your job through your marketing and through your sales techniques to overcome as many of those objections and to eliminate as many of those potential problems or questions as possible. So risk reversal is a great way of doing that. And you can do that with things like trials, which we talked about in the last episode. You can do that with little security badges and having the right security certificates on your site and all that sort of stuff. But one of the best ways of reversing that risk and using this sort of tactic is by having a money back policy, especially if you don't already have an established relationship or you're not already a well-known brand within a particular market where you already have that trust in place before someone is buying. So a money-back guarantee can alleviate the concerns and the risks that potential buyers have, and it also shows confidence in your product. You're essentially saying, listen, we know that our product is so good that you're not going to regret buying it, but if you do, we're confident enough that we'll just give you your money back because we don't want to take money from people who don't like our product and who aren't getting the best out of it. That confidence can inspire similar confidence in other people. But before we dig further into the ins and outs of offering a money-back guarantee, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that this show is brought to you by membersiteacademy.com. Membersite Academy is the leading resource for anybody looking to start, build, and grow a successful membership website. Not only do we have an extensive library of courses, resources, and tutorials, member-only perks, and monthly live Q&A sessions, we also bring in experts from various different fields to help you to really round out your education. And of course, all of this is backed by the best and the most supportive community of membership site owners around today. If you're really serious about making your membership a success, it is a no-brainer to be part of Membersite Academy. So head over to membersiteacademy.com to find out more. Okay, so getting back to money back guarantees. Now, we talked about risk reversal, not just on this episode, we talked about it a bunch of times on the Membership Guys podcast, over on the blog, and so on. So hopefully you understand the benefits to offering a money back guarantee and how it can be a big factor in getting people to actually sign up. So for this episode, I really wanted to go through some of the common questions that people will have about money back guarantees so that you can get it right and ensure that it's actually working for you. So one of the main questions that we tend to get is, how long should my money back guarantee be? Now, 30 days is standard, and typically I would go with that. But what you'll find is that in some markets or some industries, especially where there's already quite a few different membership products or where there's already lots of online courses and so on, those people are going to see 30-day guarantees everywhere. 30 days is so standard that actually if your market or your topic is the sort where they're going to be overexposed to that kind of guarantee, then if you want to stand out, maybe you might extend it to 60, or maybe you do 45 or even 90 if you're really confident about it. That's going to catch the eye of people because it's different from what they're used to seeing, and it's going to reinvigorate those risk reversal benefits that typical markets will get with just a standard 30-day. But if you're not in that sort of market, 30 days is fine. It's a long enough period of time for someone to be able to determine whether something's right for them or not. Now, should you have any sort of special conditions or caveats? I prefer not to. We're big fans of keeping it simple. In fact, I actually saw a course being offered the other day. So it wasn't a membership, it was a course. And the conditions of their guarantee, it was a 30-day guarantee, but the actual course itself was being drip fed one module at a time over a period of 6 months. Now that's fine, you quite often get that with courses, but the conditions of this 30-day guarantee was that you had to demonstrate that you had consumed the entire course. You start to see the problem there, because you couldn't possibly consume the entire course until you'd been a customer for 6 months, but the guarantee window was only 30 days. So that condition was directly put there to screw people over. And that whole thing was kind of in line with a lot of things that the person selling this course was doing anyway, so it was no real surprise to me. And actually anybody with a couple of brain cells to put together will have worked out that logical problem there. And so not only do you lose out on the risk reversal benefit, you also get people thinking that, okay, maybe you kind of suck a little bit. Maybe you're a bit more sleazy than I thought you had been. So you don't want to put any ridiculous conditions in place. You have to show you've done the work. You have to show you've tried your best. As soon as you put those conditions in place, you're setting yourself up for future conflict. And again, you're putting yourself in a position where people start to think more about the policy than they do about the risk reversal benefits, and they get distracted from actually taking the action of signing up to your membership or buying your course or so on. And the thing is, even though you might really want to have it so that you only give money back to people who have truly made an effort to make use of what they paid for, at the end of the day, the time that you potentially will spend arguing with people and dealing with a potential conflict that would come from someone trying to make use of your money back guarantee and you having to go back and forth saying, well, you haven't met the conditions and so on. The time and the mental bandwidth that you lose in doing that is probably going to be worth more than the money that you're actually losing if you just give them the money back. So just keep it simple. Wherever possible, don't have any sort of conditions. Don't give people hoops that they need to jump through. And if you're able to do that, emphasize that fact. Actually point out the fact that your 30-day money back guarantee is no hassle, it's no quibble, no questions asked, no hoops to jump through. You don't need to even tell us what it is that is causing you to want to get your money back. You just need to tell us that you do want to get your money back. Again, if you can do that, that just strengthens the risk reversal appeal of a 30-day money back guarantee. Now, on last week's episode, I talked at length about how to make use of trials for your membership. And another question that we get asked a lot is, if you're offering a trial period, do you also offer a money back guarantee? Now, what I would say with this is that if your trial period is shorter than the guarantee period, so if you're having a 14-day trial but a 30-day money-back guarantee, then I would still offer both because you're doubling up on that risk reversal. If you're giving people 30 days trial and you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, then it kind of becomes a little bit redundant. What you want to decide is whether you are going to have your money back guarantee from the date somebody signs up or from the date they make their first payment. So if you have a 14-day trial, then someone makes their first payment. If they cancel and if they ask for their money back within 30 days after that first payment, so that's like 44 days after they sign up, are you going to have a guarantee that honors that? Or is it simply going to be a case of you have a 30-day trial, and if you ask for it during that period, then any money you paid during that period can be returned to you if you want to enact this guarantee? It's entirely up to you which way you want to go. The key is, whichever way you do go, you are clear in communicating that within your guarantee. If you find yourself struggling to communicate the terms of a guarantee or anything like that, then you're probably heading down the wrong path. But it certainly doesn't hurt, especially if you're offering trials, to clarify that and directly address it, whether it's within the little section of your website where you describe the guarantee or whether it's in your frequently asked questions. I certainly wouldn't bury it deep within terms and conditions on the website. But again, if you are offering trials, if you are offering money back guarantees, still make sure that any conditions or anything about them are mentioned in your terms and conditions. Just don't hide stuff in your terms and conditions. Hopefully that makes sense. You'll notice a pattern here that is pretty much prevalent within most of the stuff we talk about here, and that is the pursuit of simplicity. Wherever possible, follow the KISS principle of keeping it super simple. I tweaked that acronym so I'm not calling any of you guys stupid, because of course, if you were stupid, you wouldn't be listening to this show. I only attract the smartest listeners. So yeah, the pattern is simplicity. Keep things simple. Have as few conditions as possible, as few hoops, as few gotchas within anything that you're doing, especially within things like money back guarantees. One thing I would definitely say though, almost as an exception to that in a way, is that when it comes to people who sign up, then they leave, then they rejoin, you don't give them the money back guarantee when they rejoin. Similarly, you want to have something in your terms and conditions where if someone joins, cancels in 30 days, gets their money back, then they join in 6 months' time, cancels in 30 days and gets their money back. You want to have something in your conditions where you directly address that. Truth be told, this is a situation you're not going to have to deal with too much, but it always helps to be able to direct people towards the part of your terms and conditions that directly addresses their behavior if they're trying to pull one over on you by doing this sort of thing. Now, you might still be thinking that you really don't want to offer a money back guarantee or even suggest anything like that because you don't want to be ripped off. You don't want to encourage people to sign up, make use of your membership for 29 days, and then on day 30, cancel and get their money back, and they've had a month completely free and they've gotten away with it. You've got to keep in mind, first and foremost, this happens way, way less. You get far, far fewer people signing up with the intention of ripping you off than you get people signing up because they love your product, because they have trust in you, and because they want to learn and get a result and all that sort of stuff. And yet, quite often we worry so much more about the unscrupulous people that we don't actually realize that they are such a tiny, tiny minority. It'll very, very, very rarely happen. And even if it does happen, again, keep in mind that anyone who is looking to rip you off will find a way regardless of whether you have a money back guarantee, regardless of whether you have a trial. If you don't have a money back guarantee and you don't give them their money back, they'll probably just initiate a chargeback on their credit card, or they'll file a dispute with PayPal. So if those kind of people are the main reason why you're avoiding things like money back guarantees, things like trials and so on, things like refund policies, then just keep that in mind. People who want to screw you over will find a way anyway, but you can't worry and you can't base business decisions solely on those people or put those people top of the list of your considerations for this kind of thing, because it happens so rarely in comparison to the good members, the good people. And there's certain things you can do to try and protect yourself and restrict that kind of thing. But ultimately, people will find a way. So don't let that put you off, and don't worry about it too much because, again, it's such a rare occurrence that it shouldn't be affecting your decisions. So hopefully if you're already offering money back guarantees, this gives you some little things to think about. Maybe it gives you some stuff that's going to prompt some changes. And if you've been unsure about whether this is something you're going to offer or worried about the way in which you offer it, what conditions you should have and so on, then hopefully this has helped give you a bit of clarity on that front too. Now this is episode 99, so that means next week is the big one. It's the big 100 episodes of the Membership Guys podcast, and it actually falls one day before my birthday. I'll be sure to mention that probably several times on the episode itself, if for nothing other than to get more people tweeting and Facebooking me to say happy birthday. But next week is going to be a big episode. It's the 100th episode. It's the centennial. We're going to be celebrating it. We're doing something a little bit different. It's going to be a very special show, so make sure that you check back in next week for the 100th episode of the Membership Guys podcast. Until then, I've been Mike Morrison. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your time with me. Hopefully it's been worth it, and hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you've enjoyed today's episode of the Membership Guys podcast, we invite you to check out the membersiteacademy.com. The Member Site Academy is the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a membership website. So whether you're still figuring out what your idea is going to be, or whether your website is already up and running and you're just looking for ways to grow it and attract new members, then the Member Site Academy can help you to get to the next level. With our extensive course library, monthly training, exclusive member-only discounts, perks and tools, and a supportive, active community to help you along the way with feedback, encouragement and advice, the Member Site Academy is the perfect place to be for anyone looking to start, manage and grow a successful membership website. So check it out at membersiteacademy.com.